Hey there folks, welcome to the second video for Chapter 20, Unifying Concepts of Animal Structure and Function. So in the last video, in the first half of Chapter 20, we were talking about all these organ systems. Let's zoom in a little bit in the way that we do in anatomy and physiology and talk about these organs. So organs are made up of specialized tissues, and each of these tissues has particularly specialized cells that do particular jobs, and on a larger scale, this is why the whole organ has a specific job it does inside our body that serves us, hopefully, very well. One of the most fascinating things that is going on in this study right now is bioengineers uniting with stem cell scientists and learning how to develop artificial organs. The first step toward this is what you see here. These are not artificial organs, not exactly. These are decelled organs, decellularized organs. They are what it looks like if you take the organ of another animal, say a pig or a rat, something that we frequently work with in a lab, and you remove the specialized cells, but you leave all of the collagen and everything behind that takes to actually connect all those cells together. And then you can start reseeding that structure with the specialized cells for the correct species. It's not quite the same thing as building or growing a brand new organ from stem cells, but it is the closest thing we can get to that eventual achievement. What the hope is with this research is that until we can eventually, perhaps someday, grow whole organs for a patient out of their own cells, this may be the next best thing that we are able to do. We can seed a decellularized organ with their cells and use the decellularized organ as a scaffold to build on, to eventually get that organ seeded with all the correct cells so it could function in a patient's body. It is not well achieved yet. This is research that is still ongoing right now, but we are hoping that eventually it may function. Right now, the organs that result from this don't have the correct nerves or blood vessels, so it isn't a perfect fix, but that's why research continues. The whole point is eventually just to help make people's lives better. When we look at organs overall, it's time to look at the organs we find in different systems. A lot of these organs are covered in their own particular sections and chapters later on in the book, so we're going to cover them just very briefly here. The integumentary system includes your skin sensation, and your nails and your hair. Skeletal system, of course, makes up all of your bones, the same way muscular system includes all of your muscles. Your nervous system, it's all of your nerves that carry input, maybe collected from your skin in the integumentary system, and takes it back to your brain. Your endocrine system regulates and integrates your body functions through hormones. Basically sends signals out from the body through hormones. Your cardiovascular system is all about breathing and getting your blood, including carrying that oxygen, especially the blood, all the way around the body, everywhere it needs to be, right? Your cardiovascular system works closely with your respiratory system, but cardiovascular is all about the heart beating and everything that carries blood in your body. Your lymphatic system houses your immune system. All right, this is how your immune system gets its cells throughout your body where they need to be. Your respiratory system includes your lungs and your trachea to get oxygen into your body. Your digestive system includes the lining of your mouth, your esophagus, stomach, small and large intestines, everything you need to take in food and process that food for nutrition. Your urinary system includes your kidneys, your bladder, and it helps you get waste products that otherwise might actually hurt your body out of the body. Your reproductive system, of course, is for reproduction. This is how we make more of the species. Like I said, most of these organ systems that we just discussed are covered pretty well elsewhere in your book, except for one of them. So let's do that here. This is your integumentary system. It makes up your skin, your nails, and your hair. It includes the epidermis, that is the outermost layer of your skin, the hair that grows up through your skin. It includes the dermis, which is under the epidermis, and that includes sweat glands, the teeny tiny little muscles that make your hair prick up, that pulls your hair upright when you get cold and you get goosebumps. You have muscles that specifically do that, as well as all of the nerves that help you pick up sense touch at the skin, all the blood veins and arteries that supply your skin and hair with the blood supply, and the fat underneath that helps insulate your body. Another thing that we want to talk about at this point, especially when it comes to things like skin products, which are really, really popular, is to always keep an eye out for how well they're actually designed. Things that help take care of our body are very, very popular. We're very concerned about doing this well. However, you have a scientific brain and the ability to judge for yourself whether or not a product is actually going to be helpful for your body. Sometimes we can't make a correct judgment off the bat because we don't have enough information. This is when we go to a doctor and we ask them, and they have far more information than we do, so we'll go with their judgment. But this is no reason to not use judgment of your own. And the next time you think, well, that seems a little good to be true, keep an eye on that. There's something in the back of your brain that's watching that particular product and all the wonderful miracle things it will do for your body, and it's not convinced. Listen to that little voice in the back of your brain and go see what else you can find out. Sometimes, yeah, the product may work, but not as well as promised. And sometimes what you have is a placebo, something that promises to be absolutely fabulous, but doesn't actually do anything at all. On the topic of getting all of these things through our body, on getting oxygen into our body where we need it, on moving nutrients around where we need them to be, on getting carbon dioxide and waste products out of our body, we're talking about systems of exchange. The two best organ systems for seeing this exchange take place are in your cardiovascular with blood and your respiratory with oxygen. So we're looking here at the heart and everything that carries blood, and also your lungs. When we talk about external exchange, this is when we're talking about things like external respiration, where you have something coming from outside the body and it's crossing over a cellular barrier so it can enter the body, like oxygen coming into the body. We breathe it in, it's fabulous. It gets into our lungs and it crosses over that thin, simple, squamous layer of cells that's so thin that oxygen can pass through and get to the blood on the other side. Internal exchange is all about getting that oxygen then to other areas of the body, deep inside the body where it needs to be, at which point that oxygen is frequently carried by something called interstitial fluid that fills up all the nooks and crannies and the spaces between cells, even between cells in a muscle fiber. Like, say, in this gap in between the blood vessel and the body cells, this whole area would be filled up with interstitial fluid, and it can help carry oxygen from the blood to the body cells, but also carbon dioxide that needs to leave the body from the body cells back into the blood. Another excellent body system to see this kind of reaction going on is the digestive system, and everything that helps spread the nutrients from the food that you've eaten from your digestive system, your stomach, your small and large intestines, into your blood supply, so that This same thing can happen, internal exchange, but instead of moving oxygen and carbon dioxide around, your blood can move around nutrients from your food and take in waste products that your muscles and your organs need to get rid of. Another place where you can see this happening well is in temperature control and homeostasis. Not all animals are really capable of controlling their body temperature, but we're mammals and we are excellent at doing this. See, the inside of our body and our organs can only really regulate at peak performance inside a certain temperature range, and it's a fairly tight range in there. It's pretty specific inside the body. So our body has a whole system just for moderating our internal body temperature so that if it gets too cold outside or if it gets too hot outside, it's pretty even and consistent inside. If our body temperature starts to get too hot, maybe it's too hot outside, or we start to get a fever, our nervous system signals our blood vessels to dilate and we start to sweat, to cool off. We spread body heat out to our surroundings. That helps cool us off, and the body temperature starts to come back down to where it needs to be. We start to get too cold, however, maybe we start to get hypothermic and we're shivering. The same nervous system sends signals to our blood vessels in our skin to constrict, to help shunt blood back toward the center of the body, to help keep the organs and the center of the body warm. It conserves heat. The body temperature comes back up toward normal. If things are really severe and we're so cold that even doing that doesn't warm us up, this is when we start to shiver, and we start to shiver involuntarily because the muscle activity generates heat, and that's a last ditch, we're really cold way of helping to try and warm that body back up and preserve the internal body temperature. All right, folks, we're going to wrap it up here with homeostasis, and I will see you next time. Bye, folks.